So at the start of every season, different clubs have different objectives and aims in the DStv Premiership. For example, a club like Cape Town Spurs will try to avoid finishing last, where a club like Pirates will try to finish first. A club like Mamelodi Sundowns will try to extend their record of winning the PSL, whereas a club like Kaizer Chiefs will try and extend their precious record of not winning any trophy in a couple of years. Again, a club like Pirates will try and challenge for honours, where a club like Kaizer Chiefs will try and challenge Chippa United for hiring and firing coaches and making bad decisions in that regard. So, yeah, to that end, teams make efforts and decisions to meet those objectives. And during the course of the season, the teams will find out whether or not their projections were correct. Some of these decisions that they include which coach to hire, what is his philosophy, what players will suit him, and which coaches will help him in terms of reaching those objectives. And since the start of the 2019-20 season, the transfer window, Pirates have made around 51 signings whom they thought will help the club reach its objectives. And in this video, I'm going to rank who I think are the top 10 of those signings. So what's the criteria for those of you who are wondering? In terms of my ranking, it's the player must be signed since 2019. You might ask why 2019? It's been 5 transfer windows since then. I beg your pardon. It's been 5 transfer windows since then, and I decided 5 because that's usually the span of a player's stay at a club. Players usually stay around that time, and so I went for 5 for that reason. The player must have helped or is helping the team reach its objectives in some regard. So like I said, for example, at Pirates, the objectives will be to challenge for cups, to win cups, to challenge the league for the league, maybe even promote young players and have them be a part of the starting 11. So the player must meet those objectives in some way. They must be value for money. They must have been signed, relatively not too expensive. So I'll give an example of if a player is signed for 50 million and the other is signed for 10 million and both players score 20 goals. Obviously, the one that is signed for less is a better signing because of value for money. And lastly, they must be a talented player. All players that play in the DStv Premiership are talented in some regard, but it's someone that we all have to agree on their skill sets that they deserve to be, ranked higher for that. And without wasting any time, let me get right into it. At number 10, I have Ndabaiteto Ndlondlo, signed from Marumo Gallants. He was the star man there, known over there for his progressive carries off the ball in midfield, also for his long shot taking, starting to make a name for himself. A lot of rumors around which team is going to sign him. We signed him in 2022 at the age of 27, obviously a statement signing with his age and his status, or what was becoming his status in the league. It was obvious that he was going to be the core of the Pirates midfield. Because if you look at the players that we have and the players we had and the players that we currently have, had a lot of 30-year-olds in midfield, aging players in that midfield. He was obviously the player that was signed and is still the player that is going to be in that Pirates midfield for long if you compare him to the players that we have currently right now. And had a bit of a stinker as well ever since we started well and then had a bit of a stinker in terms of form and is regaining that momentum that he started with and had made a name for himself with at Marumo Gallants. He's becoming again the main man in the Pirates midfield, which is lovely, and I have him at number 10. At number 9, one of the best, the most talented strikers, best strikers to maybe come out of the PSL, most talented, definitely, Kemid Erasmus, signed for free from Mamelodi Sundowns after a controversial end of his time over there, was a very rapid and deadly finisher in his time, but has adapted his game now to play more with anticipation and experience. Highly influential role at Pirates currently, playing as a leader and as a team player. And I was listening to his interview and he was speaking about how he has adapted his role after a lot of questioning last season around him not scoring a lot of goals. he was explaining, I think it was on the Andile Ncube show on the radio, and he was talking about how he has adapted his role as a striker to be more of a team player and help the team in other departments, and definitely off the field and in the dressing room and things like that. So he's a bit of an influential figure and a leader in the Pirates dressing room, and I think he was a smart capture, especially for free, and also because I thought, after losing a lot of experienced players, Happy Chele, Nyauza, Tulani Hlatshwayo, those players, we were lacking for leaders, and smart capture by Orlando Pirates at the time also played a very crucial role. In our Nedbank Cup win and MTN Cup win, scored important goals, and has played a crucial role in the league run last season for us to finish second, was also playing a crucial role again as the number 10, unleashing Chukamanja and Saleng to be the people that score the goals. And at number 8, I have arguably the most gifted centre-back in the league, Olisanda. You guys might be mad at me that he's only 8th. It's only because you haven't seen who's at, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also because of the reasoning for that. But yeah, Olisanda makes the top 10 at number 8, signed in August 2021 from Aqua United in Nigeria at the age of 23. I thought, it was a steal for us. I'm not sure what the fee was. It was undisclosed, but it was a steal in that he's a very talented player. And for him to decide to come to South Africa, especially because I think the Nigerian league ranks higher than the South African league. So for him to come to Nigeria, to South Africa at Orlando Pirates, especially soon after making his international debut for Nigeria, I thought that was a steal. He came into an aging defense as well, Nyauza, Jele, Hlatshwayo, and was the bright spark at the time. You already saw his quality as soon as he, graced that field for us, and would be much higher, to be honest, on my list if it were not for him missing crucial moments of the league, especially last season. At number 7, I have Thapelo Xoki. Shrewd business from Orlando Pirates, signing the Amazulu captain at a good age of 27. Good age for defenders, 27 years old, not too young, not too inexperienced. At the right age, will still play for a couple of years. Defenders usually can go into their 30s. So, if we can have Thapelo Xoki for a good 10 years at a good level, if he keeps himself at the right shape and he does the right things, I think he's a leader. Obviously, he will do those things. He looks like he's a professional, and I thought shrewd business from Orlando Pirates to sign him. I rank him higher than, Olisanda because he just played a crucial role for us in what you will have seen, the league run, the winning of the cups. He obviously came in much later when Da got injured. He started off as a deputy of Olisanda at the start of the season, last season. Olisanda was the one who was playing in that back three as the right centre-back. Thapelo Xoki was a bit lower in terms of that list and that hierarchy. But as soon as he took over from Da, who got injured, he just didn't look back from there and has become such a crucial figure, becoming the captain as well. I think he's the vice captain at the club, if not Richard Ofori at the moment. And he's a core centre-back for us currently, and was in the league run, like I already mentioned, and in the Nedbank Cup win. At number 6, I have someone whom you guys will want to tear my head off. It will be a split opinion, Terence Chukamanja, for many reasons, including, I think, his controversial exit, if you guys are honest, from Pirates recently. I have him at number 6. We signed him at the age of 26 in 2020 from a discontinued Bidvest, if you will remember. Bidvest, I beg your pardon. He came in alongside a huge number of players at the time, if I'm not mistaken, Dion Otto, Tulani Hlatshwayo, and I think Wade Euster was part of that crew as well. Not a fancy name, Chukamanja, at the time, but he makes my list for obvious reasons. He was very influential last season in the league run, in the Nedbank Cup win. He was signed as a versatile forward, but he became the Pirates' poacher with arguably a worse supply than what Lepasa has right now. I think last season we were obviously good going forward, but we are tremendous this year with the supply that Lepasa is getting, and Chukamanja couldn't stop scoring the goals. I think sometimes even turning things that were half chances into good chances, in that he would find the space in that box and finish and score for us. So I have him at 6th. And you guys might have forgotten, he played a very influential role as well in Josef Tinbauer's MTN 8 win in 2020. He scored, I think, some goals there. I remember, I think, an opener against Cape Town City of that MTN 8 season, for lack of a better term. And scored the winning goal in the Nedbank Cup last season as well, winning the Nedbank Cup for us late into extra time. Would be higher, to be entirely honest with you, if he had played with this form and had not missed a lot of games because of this or that in Orlando Pirates. But I have him at 6th, Jugamanja. At number 5, I have Miguel Tim. Pirates obviously love the Marumo Gallants midfield, signing both Tim and Londra last season together in the same season. It didn't take long for Miguel Tim to become a fan favorite. He's obviously a darling at Orlando Stadium, and I imagine all over South Africa, with everyone just chanting his name every time he gets on the ball. Signed as a 30-year-old. I mean, we know in the DStv Premiership that's not rare for the big clubs to sign 30-year-olds, but I do think he's one of those that came in and bolstered the squad even at his old age. 30 being an old age in football a lot of the time, but very influential as well for somebody signed for free. Again, he was the first name in the engine of the modern best team Pirates. Pirates team currently is one of the best teams in the Pirate it's one of the best teams of Orlando Pirates in modern history. This current Pirates team, and Tim is at the engine of it, and he's one of the first names when he's fit. And he's a very influential figure in that team, and obviously will make my number 10 at number 5. At number 4, another constant name in Pirates midfield, signing him free from Wits in 2020 as a 31-year-old, Thabang Munari. I mean, Pirates have refused to let his contract expire for 2 seasons in a row now, even though he's past 30 years old, and that must tell you something. At 34 now, he still doesn't look like he's going to stop. Thabang Munari, another name alongside Tim, who's in the engine of the best modern Pirates team, and the coach just will not drop him. I think he's fantastic for us, and he sits at number 4. He edges over Tim for me because he's also a part of that 2020 MTN 8 winning side. So just edges over Tim for me. But obviously, alongside Tim, he's one of those first names. And at 34 years old, he doesn't look any inch or any day closer to 34. He looks like he's still 20-something in his mid-20s, Thabang Munari. Very fit, very good on the ball. And he's my number 4. And now going on to the top 3, you guys will be curious who's in my top 3, and you guys obviously will fight me. Please leave a comment, what your top 10 is and whether or not you agree with me. At number 3, I have someone whom you guys will think maybe should have been higher, or maybe you guys will not have in the list at all for whatever reason. Kabadino Mango at number 3 for me. As far as free signings go, it doesn't get better than Mango. We signed him for free as a 26-year-old from a PSL winning Bidvest Wits side, which he scored 9 goals in that season where Bidvest Wits wins the league. And we get him for free in 2019. He has an instant impact at Pirates in 2019, winning the Golden Boot with 16 goals, 16 fire goals, I must add, a lot of the time. All in all, he has scored 23 goals for us in 71 appearances. That is around, a goal every 3rd game. So he skips 2 games and then he scores. That's very impactful. And if not for injuries, I think Mango will have been higher on this list. I think he will have still been at Pirates as well. But obviously, the injury thing and, just talks around his ego and his behavior at Pirates, I think, is what keeps him from being higher on this list. Because talent-wise, I think he's just by far one of the best that have played for us in recent history. But I have him at number 3 for this reason or that. At number 2, I've got Nkosinathi Sibisi, you guys will fight because defenders a lot of the time don't get ranked high in lists of anything except defender lists. But yeah, Nkosinathi Sibisi for me at number 2, ahead of Mango. Yeah, just because of the longevity of what I think Sibisi can do for Pirates, but also just shrewd business from Pirates at the times last season, signing him from Golden Arrows as the captain, age 26. I think that's just good business from Orlando Pirates. Right age, right player, and we see it, instant impact. He's the core of that centre back, instant hit. Of all the defenders, he's the main name. You think about the defense that has played since when Sibisi made his debut to now, currently in 2023 in September, or last day of August, tomorrow will be September, depending on when you see this. And yeah, he's the constant name in that list of defenders. You think about, he's played with Nda and Mayela in the back 3, and then he's played with, Tapelo Koki and Mayela in the back 3, and then has played with Koki as the 2 in a back 4, and has played here and there with Mtetwa. I think, played with Mayela for a few minutes in, I think, versus Chippa United, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he's just a constant name in this Pirates defense, which is so tough when it's playing well. I mean, we are guilty lately of conceding a few easy goals or a few lapses of concentration kind of goals. But yeah, when Pirates is playing well, very tough defender of the season last season as well. And I think deservedly number 2 on my list. You guys might disagree, but I think very deservedly number 2. And then number 1, I think obviously for everyone, you guys probably will not need me to elaborate. You guys already know who it is. At number 1, signed from Free State Stars, July 2021 for a reported 2.4 million rands. Only age 23. I know you guys probably losing your head thinking it's a lot of money if you're not familiar with the transfer fees. Obviously, we don't hear a lot, about transfer fees in South Africa. But yeah, he was signed for 2.4 million, reportedly, according to transfermarkt.com.co.za. You guys can check that out. Not the fanciest of names in the list of transfers at the time. In the names, alongside people like Nzako Makhubela, was even loaned out immediately to Moroka Swallows to go and spend a year in the DStv Premiership and get some experience. And then he comes back, instant hit, 36 games so far, 17 goals, 12 assists. That is 29 goal contributions in 36 appearances. Almost a goal contribution in every game. That is just, insane numbers. He reminds me a lot of Mohamed Salah. That's why we termed him Mo Saleng at Orlando Pirates. Just how, cutting in on that right wing with his left foot, he's just deadlier than some strikers. And yeah, I don't need to elaborate why Munapule Saleng is number 1, best player in the country. For me, in 2022 and 2023, latter stage of 2022 and, 2023, definitely. Obviously, more talented players than him. That's obvious. There are a lot of talented players in this league. However, I think he's been the best in terms of contribution and things like that. Just scoring goals, assists, helping his team, winning stuff. Munapule Saleng, I don't understand how anyone could look past him. Just for content's sake, ranking him against the people that were challenging, or the people that, Tebogo Mokoena, who beat him to the player of the season last season, and Ronald Williams, who was a contender as well. Munapule Saleng, like I already mentioned, was signed for 2.4 million. And Ronald Williams was signed for 18 million. And Tebogo Mokoena reportedly 20 million rands. So, I mean, it doesn't compare. He's signed for what? Tebogo Mokoena and Ronald Williams are signed for almost times 10 what Munapule Saleng has been signed for. And just value for money wise, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. Munapule Saleng, fantastic signing for Orlando Pirates. Will go down for me, history books, if he keeps doing what he's doing. And just for what he has done so far, brilliant season, brilliant signing, brilliant guy, amazing personality, very down to earth, and is number 1. I've got a few bonuses just because I'm very kind and gracious for those of you who might not have seen the people that you like, but also because I think these are important mentions worth mentioning in this list. I've got 5 bonus players whom in this order I think at number 11 I would have Patrick Maswanganyi. You know, also signed for free, value for money wise, the player that he is, I mean, just stupidly talented, ridiculously talented guy at number 11, Patrick Maswanganyi, signed from SuperSport United at a good age of 25. Instant hit at Orlando Pirates. If he continues like he's already started his career at Pirates, I'm sure he's going to be higher on this list. He'll overtake some players. I have no doubt about that. If he just does the right things, I think he'll be higher. Talent-wise, he's just ridiculously talented. And at number 12, I've got Zakele Lepasa. I think Lepasa for me, a product of the academy. It doesn't get better than that, or the development, rather. A product of the development at Pirates, promoted through the ranks. Him, the form he's at right now, just value for money wise, fantastic. We didn't have to sign anything. He's our own player whom we loaned out at various times to other teams and has gotten the experience, and he's doing the business for Orlando Pirates. Right now at number 13, I've got Relebogile Ratomo. I think I've got him at 13 because, I don't know, there's a part of me that thinks he's not going to stay at Pirates, so he might not go up this list. I don't think he's going to stay at Pirates for very long. It's rare for players as talented as he is at that age. By the time he's 21, I mean, he's 19 this year. He's born in 2004, so this is his 19th year, 2023. I think by the time he's 21, 2 years of experience in this league, I don't know where he'll be. I mean, he already looks like he's had 5 years of experience in the DStv Premiership. Ridiculously talented. Just another stupid talent, Relebogile Ratomo. And I've got him behind Lepasa because also Lepasa has already played some games and scored some goals for us. So it's only fair that he's ahead of him. And Kapinga I have at 14th. I think, it's arguable whether I have Kapinga or Kimvwidi at 14 and 15 like that. But I've got Kapinga and Kimvwidi. Kapinga because we've signed him for free. I have him at 14. And also because we know what he can do. And I think we've just signed a brilliant player in Kapinga. My worry is that he's already 28 years old. So had we signed him maybe some 3 years ago, wow, we would have some player on our hands. I still think we have some player on our hands, especially depth-wise, but also because I still think he can do the business for us. And I've got Karim Kimvwidi, whom I think a lot of people will be surprised just how good he is. I think he's a different player to what we have. I keep saying that, in terms of carrying the ball, being direct, he reminds me a lot of Yaya Toure, also being, from those African countries up there. He reminds me of Yaya Toure just in the power that he runs with the ball. He's good at, coming deep, collecting the ball and then running with it, taking players on. And I think he's going to get better. Only 21 years old at the moment. Imagine with time and experience and playing at a high level around very good players in this league is another one who might not stay. Especially as a foreigner, I think maybe his representation will find a move for him. Like Olisanda, I think he might at some point leave South Africa and go and play abroad in a better league, with all due respect to the DStv Premiership. But I think Karim Kimvwidi is another one who's going to not stay in South Africa for long, but a gem on our hands, whom if he stays at Pirates, like people like Francis Chansa, Isaac Chansa, I beg your pardon, and maybe even Francis Chansa and people like Okonko and, those names from the past. If he stays at Pirates and doesn't go abroad and he becomes a household name at Pirates, he's going to be very high up on this list. I don't know how it works because he's a number 10 and Maswanganyi is a number 10. Do you play him at 10 and then move Maswanganyi to the right? But then we've got Saleng as well. But this is football. Any one of them could leave. But I think we've got great talents on our books. And that is my top 10. Stick around. I will post the worst 10 in the same period that I think Pirates have signed. But for now, thank you for watching. Up the Mighty Bucks. Cheers. I know you're craving some more of Talking Buccaneers content. Well, I have great news for you. If you hit that subscribe button right now, you'll stay up to date with all our future content.